Hi, welcome to Talk Back Live, a show that gets you involved in live conversation and sports with Brian Camp on Sports Update, bringing you the latest developments in today's world of sports. And now here's your host, Frank Allan.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant night to each and every one of you around the world and across the country in your different time zones, wherever you may be. It doesn't matter. We're all around the world and we're global. And we thank you so much for being along with us on this Thursday. It's now 8 p.m. on the East Coast, 5 p.m. on the West Coast. It's Friday morning, 1 a.m. in London, 3 a.m. in Israel, and it's 9 a.m. in Tokyo, Japan. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Talk Back Live. We're here every Thursday at this time, and we invite every one of you to come along with us. And we get together and we have a little conversation, and you could be part of the conversation too. All you have to do is apply yourself. I'll tell you how to do that. For those of you who've been around a long time, you already know what the deal is all about. So I am going to talk to the people who possibly are here for the very first time. As the host of the show, I'm going to get things rolling as I'm doing right now. And anytime you like, even right now, you can type in whatever you want to talk about on your keyboard, on your telephone, your computer, or your iPad, or even your tablet. Doesn't matter. You see us, type it in. I'll see whatever you're typing in right there on the big screen. And I am going to entertain every one of your thoughts and ideas, because that's what the show is all about, free exchange of opinion and ideas. And you may have a lot of them. And so we want you to be part of us by doing that. And if you happen to be one of the ones that just don't want to be bothered with that, and you just want to sit back and relax and enjoy the show, we don't mind. We don't mind, but keep in mind that we like to greet every one of you personally. So we don't mind if you do that. But if you do that, that'll be great. And we hope that you can stay with us for the whole entire hour. I hope that's the case. If not, we really appreciate the amount of time that you could spend with us. In any event, we're going to be here with all kinds of conversation, and all of you ought to know that we come on 3 different platforms. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Okay, so any one of those 3 platforms you're watching us on, it doesn't matter. We're going to give you all the information. You see everything about the same. It's all the same. It's just different platforms. But whatever platform you're using, we thank you so much for being along. Hello, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And thank you so much for being along with us. Now, those of you who are watching us on Facebook, take the time right now, right? Please, if you would. All right. We really would appreciate that. To tag this show, this very show that's happening right now live, and tag them to all of your friends. Now, if you have too many friends that you couldn't possibly tag them all in one night, take a little bit at a time, right? One this week, next time, and the following week after that, that would be great. All right. So please, do that. And let them know that we're out here, because when they see that tag from you, right, they'll know it's coming from you. All they have to do is click onto that tag, and it brings them directly to us. That's it. As easy as that. And they'll be able to see you, me, and everybody else here. And you can chat with the people who are here right now. You can chat with them as well. So, take the time to do that. Those of you who are watching us on YouTube, well, you know the deal right there on YouTube. We always encourage you to go on to our YouTube channel and subscribe to us. We would love you to do that. Subscribe to us. And that gives us a chance to know that you're out there, and that we can rely on you to come back again and again, right? You subscribe to us. Not only that, it gives you the opportunity to know that whenever we come on live or any kind of activity that's going on, of course, you'll be able to see it, right? Because you get an instant notification. It'll pop right up there, and all you have to do is go right to the YouTube channel. When you click onto the notification, it takes you directly to the YouTube channel, all right? And that's easy enough. That's easy enough. So we invite you to do that right now, please. It doesn't take any kind of effort at all. No effort at all. Just where it says subscribe, right there, right down there. Just drag your mouse over there, point the arrow, click onto it, and that's all it takes, right? Okay. Now, for the rest of you who are watching us on Instagram, you don't have to do much. All you have to do is just keep the word going about us. Let your family and friends and your relatives know all about us, that we're out here each week and they can be part of the action as well. Get them all in here, reel them in like fish. And of course, if they like what they see, if they like what they hear, hopefully everyone will come back again and again. So that's what we appreciate. I want to say hello to Kevin Briscoe, Senior Cigar out there. He says hello. And we thank you so much for being along with Kevin. It's always great to see you. You don't come in as much, but it's always great to see you when you come out here. So thank you so much for being along. And for the rest of you guys too, just like Kevin, you come out and that's how we greet people. You know, that's how we greet you. We see you. If you say something, we will definitely respond. Now, I could see you when you pop in here, you know, and a lot of people may not say anything. They'll pop in, right? But they won't say anything. I will not say anything to you out of respect until you say something first, all right? Out of respect, because a lot of people, you know, they'd rather not be acknowledged in that way. So that's what we do. We respect the people who come in. We know that you're there, but we won't acknowledge you unless, of course, you say something. Then we'll acknowledge you, just like we did with Kevin. Okay? Got a lot of things going on today, as usual. You know, first of all of the views and the opinions expressed on this show, Talkback Live, does not necessarily reflect the view or the opinions of the people of Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, or either Zoom or any kind of social media or broadcast facility. Okay, so we covered that all. And now that we did, we got so many things to talk about today. We do our regular routine, as you already know, and for instance, this particular half hour, not too long from now, usually Brian Camp comes along with the latest developments in today's world of sports on Sports Update. And there's a lot of sports to talk about. And I must say, since we're on the subject of sports, I'm gonna even before the sports come in, I'm gonna tell you the Yankees are in the lead right now, 1-0. All right. Those of you who are Yankee fans, I had to throw it out. I'm a Yankee fan. So those of you who are Yankee fans, if you're I'm telling you right now, so far they're in the lead. In the Bronx at Yankee Stadium, they're playing the Boston Red Sox, Yankees' longtime rival. They're playing them. And hopefully we want to keep our fingers crossed because we want to make sure that we stay exactly where we are in the position. Hopefully we'll get into the World Series. We don't know. We'll have to see what happens. Anyway, that's the score right now. But anyway, sports is coming up. Brian is not going to be here today. Brian is off this week. And I'm pretty sure he's taking another dream trip somewhere. I'm pretty sure about that. But when he gets back, I'm pretty sure he'll tell us about that. Anyway, he's not here, so we're going to cover all of that for him. That's coming up too. And of course, later on in the program, we have our other routine that we have this day in history. This day that goes down in history. Now, on this day in history, there's always something that goes on each day. Each day, something happened on this day in history. Now, here we are, September 12th. And September 12th, a lot of events happened, and we're going to find out more about that. We're going to let you know more about that when we get to that point. Also, before the show ends, we are also going to give you those movies. Now, what I do each week is I go on Turner Classic Movies and pick out my picks of the week for your weekend. The weekend is coming up. Oh, you don't believe that, right? Times go by so fast. The weekend is coming up, and a lot of you like to do a lot of things. The summer months are just about over, but you want to savor what's left of it. And one of the things that you might want to do outside the backdoor barbecue and all of that, you might want to take time out. If you have the luxury of being off on the weekend, you might want to take the time out and catch up on some old movies that you haven't seen in a long time, right? And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put my 2 cents in because I have a couple of movies that I want to give you to let you know what's happening. And you could use that to put it on your bucket list of what to watch this weekend. And then a lot of people are streaming, so you're never going to be starving for any kind of entertainment. So that's all coming up later on in the program. And of course, it's you and me and the rest of the world, all of us. Thank you, guys. Again, we couldn't thank you enough for being along with us on this Thursday night. And we're coming from New York City. That's where we originate. We're coming live from New York City. And so just keep that in mind too. Okay, now, since we are here, we want to tell you about a few things. Later on in the month, in the middle of the month, not too long from now, and just as a matter of fact, we might as well say it, on the 15th of this month, which I believe it's what, Sunday? Today's the 12th. 13. Yeah, Sunday. Sunday starts Hispanic Heritage Month. All right. And they're going to be celebrating that all. And it's weird that it starts in the middle of the month, but that's the way it is. September 15th is the Hispanic Heritage Month. And that's going to last from September 15th to October 15th. And of course, there's going to be a lot of celebrations. And of course, I'm pretty sure all of you are going to be out here doing the do. So we figure we just bring that out to you. I mean, we might as well say it now, right? Even though it's only the 12th, right? It's Thursday, it's 12th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, 15th, right? 15th. So we look forward to that. Also want to relate to you guys that this is the month too where we talk about Prostate Health Month. Now, those of you men, you already know what to do. You already know what to do. You're over 40, 45 years old. Now is the time to make sure that you be proactive and stay on top of your health. Go see your urologist, because every man has to have a urologist, and make sure that everything is intact, because when you get a certain age, things change and you have to discover that. So that's what we're talking about all this month, Prostate Health Month. And go see your urologist, your doctor, and try to keep your PSA levels down to 0 or no higher than 1. All right, and keep it that way. You know, we want to keep everybody healthy. You know, and so that's what it is. Also, gynecologic cancer awareness month. This is for the women. You know, we just like the men, you have to go and make sure that you get checked out, make sure everything is okay. That's what it says. This is gynecologic cancer awareness month. Go see your gynecologist, make sure that you're in good shape, get on a good diet. Same thing for you men, and see your gynecologist on a basis whenever he needs to see you, right? Sometimes if you're very good health, you might only have to do it a year at a time. Nevertheless, make sure you go out there and get checked out. It's also National Blood Center and Blood Cancer Awareness Month. Now, I bring this out here because this is near and dear to my heart. There's all kinds of blood cancers, but there's one that I'm very familiar with, which is called multiple myeloma. My mom passed away from that disease many years ago, and at that time, it was a devastating thing to see. But as time went on, it was years ago. Here we are, the year 2024, and it's gotten better. People are surviving it now. People are surviving a lot of cancers. That's why we bring this out to you, to make sure that you're aware of that. So that's one of, and there are all kinds of blood cancers, right? You know, and you have to research these things to see how they go for you, and look at them and try to stay clear of all of these things. You know, things happen. Also, we have National Sickle Cell Awareness Month. Okay, there's another thing. That's what we're looking to do. And we're going to be talking about this all month long, all of this month of September, because that's what it is. It's about the month. And we're going to be making sure that everybody is healthy. And for you guys who celebrate or contract sickle cell anemia, you guys are experienced on that. You know what to do. Make sure you continue to see your doctor. Whatever medications you need, take them, and stay healthy and happy, because that's what it's all about. National Suicide Prevention Month. Now, this is a total different from the health month, and this is something that is very important too. You know, if you or a friend or someone you know who has ideas about suicide, there's a number to call. It's only 3 digits. It's 988. Now, with that, you can text people, you can text them, or you can call them direct. 988. That's all it takes. It's very simple. You don't have to remember 7 numbers, only 3 numbers. 988. That's for the National Suicide Prevention. And that's the hotline. 988. You could text people back and forth. You could talk to someone live, or again, you can call someone. All right, 988 for National Suicide Prevention Month. Would you believe, and you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. National Chocolate Milkshake Day. Did you have yours today? Well, if you didn't, it's not too late. It's still, well, it may be too late for other people who are on the Friday mode right now, but we're still here Thursday. But it's National Chocolate Milkshake Day, and you don't have to have a special day for it. You can do it anytime you want. So if you haven't had yours already, you can get yours, make some right now if you have the means to do it, or maybe tomorrow when you go out or something like that, have yourself a nice milk chocolate day. Remember back in the old days, back in the 50s, we used to call them malted milks, malteds. They don't call them malteds anymore. Back in the 50s, they have malt shops, and you used to go in there and you used to buy for 5 cents. You could buy a malted for 5 cents. Uh, I say that, you may not believe it because maybe you're younger and you say, oh, you can't get that for 5 cents today. No, you can't. But that's how it was back in those 5 or 10 cents, right? You go into the malt shop, play the jukebox and all of that. And so anyway, that's what's happening. Hey, here's an event for all of New Yorkers. Those of you who live in New York, we have an event for you. And it's the 55th annual African American Day Parade. That's coming up this Sunday, the 15th, all right? There's a lot of things, a couple of things celebrated. You have the Heritage Month for Latinos, the Hispanic Heritage Month, and you have for that day the 55th annual African American Day Parade, and that's this Sunday, and that starts at 12:30 p.m. And the route will be between 111th Street and 136th Street. It goes uptown from 111th Street to 136th Street and Adam Clayton Boulevard, which is, basically 7th Avenue. And so again, that starts at 12:30 p.m. and it starts again at 111th Street and up to 136th Street. And if you go out there, please have fun, enjoy it, but please be very careful. I don't want to hear about any fatalities. Enjoy the parade, but by all means, please, do it very carefully. All right. Hey, it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. It's that time. I want to tell you about that. It is that time. It's that time because it's the time to get your flu shots. Your flu shots and your COVID shots are now available. All you have to do is go to your pharmacist and find out, make your appointment to do it. I took my flu shot just yesterday, all right, and I'm going to be taking COVID in 2 weeks. But you can do that, or you can take them both at the same time. That's what they're telling you on TV. That they announce that you can take it. They say it's safe, but that would be up to you as an individual, whether you want to take both shots at the same time, at the same day. It's all a matter of making an appointment. So go to your pharmacist and find out what the protocol is on actually doing it, whether or not you could just walk in there and do it. I'm not sure how it's done. I know here in New York, in most places in New York, you just can't walk in. You have to make an appointment online. But do that. Go to your pharmacist and they'll tell you more about it. We have 54 days left before that glorious day, that marvelous day, that election day. And of course, you already know that's coming up on November 5th. And you have early elections, which is going to take place starting October 25th or 26th. Can't remember one or the other. And it's going to last for 9 days. So if you're doing some early voting, which a lot of people are, those are your days right there. And of course, maybe a lot of you may want to just forget about it and just say, hey, you know what? I am going to vote by mail. So call your local board of election and let them know, that you want to do that, and wherever you are. But for all of New Yorkers, all of you New Yorkers, I have the Board of Election area for you. It's 200 Varick Street. It's right on the 10th floor. It's in New York City, of course. And the telephone number is 212-886-2100. That's 212-8. It's 866. Yes, it's 866-2100. We're going to repeat that later on before the show is over. Okay, that'll be great. Brazilian musician Sergio Mendes, who brought bossa nova to an international audience in the 1960s with his band Brazil 66, has died as a result of health challenges related to long-term COVID. Mendes last performed in November of 2023 to a sold-out, widely enthusiastic house in Paris, London, and Barcelona. He was 83 years old. James Earl Jones, who overcame racial prejudice and severe stutter to become a celebrated icon on stage and screen, eventually leading his deep, commanding voice to CNN. He lending his voice to CNN, The Lion King, and Darth Vader has died. You heard about that. And the Pioneer Jones, who back in 1965 became one of the first African-American actors in continuing roles on daytime dramas such as the World Turned, and worked deep into the 80s, until his 80s, until he was like 80 years old. Won 2 Emmys, Golden Globe, 2 Tony Awards, a Grammy, a National Medal of Arts, and the Kennedy Center Honors. He was also given an honorary Oscar and a special Tony Award for Lifetime Achievement. In 2022, Broadway Theater was renamed in his honor. He was 93 years old. And finally, Frankie Beverly, a funk and R&B innovator, singer, writer, songwriter, producer, and founder of the band called Maze, died Tuesday. He was born in Philadelphia in 1946. Beverly found his voice singing in church and formed many R&B and doo-wop groups throughout the 1960s before refraining his sound and founding Raw Soul, which later became the name of Maze. In 1970, he was 77 years old. Rest in peace. Okay, usually at this time, we're overdue right now, but we're finally here. And we had so much information to tell you about, but we're finally here. We're gonna fill in for Brian Camp, who's not with us today, and with the latest developments in today's world of sports. So let's get started right now. And we go to New York, as New York Mets Hall of Famer Ed Kranepool died Sunday. And the Mets say Kranepool passed away after suffering from cardiac arrest. And he was in Boca Raton, Florida. And Kranepool played in his entire 18 years career with the Mets from 1962 to 1979, and was a member of the 1969 Miracle Mets team that won the World Series. And he was also an All-Star in 1965. He was later inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame in 1990. He was 79 years old. The Cleveland Browns are adding another former first-round draft pick to their wide receiver from the hopes to potentially benefit from the change of serenity. And the Browns are signing wide receiver Kadarius Toney to their practice squad. Toney signed with the Browns instead of the Seattle Seahawks. And he's one of the former first rounders in the wide receiver room between the active roster and the practice squad, joining Amari Cooper and Jerry Jeudy. Former Minnesota Vikings player, running back Adrian Patterson earned more than $100 million in his NFL career from 2007 to 2021, but he is still in a massive debt, estimated at more than $12 million. And now a judge in Houston has issued an order for him to turn over numerous assets to help pay it back. And the same judge on Monday ordered that the constable in Fort Bend County, Texas, a company that the court appointed the receiver to Patterson's home when he shows up to seize the assets. And Shohei Ohtani stole his 47th base. Now, you talk about this guy, anytime you do a report, there's something right behind it. Anyway, he stole his 42nd base for the season on Monday night, to take him to step closer to the historic 50-50 season. as the Los Angeles Dodgers lost 10-4, and this is not recent, but to the Chicago Cubs, and having racked up his 46th home run of the campaign on Sunday. The two-time AL MVP is now just 3 steals and 4 home runs away from becoming the first player of the Major League Baseball history to register 50 of each in a single season. Olympic professor, oh, and I'm sorry, Olympic sponsor Panasonic is terminating its contract with the IOC. And at the end of the year, the company said in a statement on Tuesday, Panasonic is one of 15 companies that are called top sponsors for the International Olympic Committee. It's not known that the value of Panasonic's sponsorship, but the sponsor contribute more than $2 billion in a 4-year cycle to the AOC. On this day, September 12th, 1914, New York Yankees shortstop Roger Picano. I'm going to do the best I can to pronounce this. Picanfa. Okay, Picanfa. That's the best I can do, ladies and gentlemen. At 23 years old, becomes the youngest manager. In 1932, Brooklyn Dodger catcher Al Lopez hits Major League last record bout home run. In 1954, Cleveland Indians swept New York Yankees at Missable Stadium. The largest crowd was 86,563. In 1979, Boston Red Sox, Carl Yastrzemski gets his 3,000th hit off of New York Yankee Jim Beadle. In 1984, New York Mets Dwight Gooden sets the rookie record, strikeout record at 251. In 2004, Detroit Lions defeated Chicago Bears 20-16 to snap their 24-game road losing streak. And birthdays today, on this day, 1913, Jesse Owens, 4-time Olympic gold medalist. He was born in Oakville, Alabama. In 1940, Mickey Lolich, and Major League Baseball pitcher for the Detroit Tigers, was born in Portland, Oregon. In 1958, boxer Wilfredo Beneza was the youngest champion at the age of 17, was born in Brooklyn, New York. And finally, in 1989, Andrew Luck, NFL quarterback from the Indiana Colts, was born in Washington, D.C. And that's what's happening in this day of sports. And we thank Brian Camp for providing us with that information. And of course, we won't see him tomorrow as well. But of course, we'll be taking care of business for him as he comes along. In case you're just joining us right now, well, you're joining us. The name of the show is called Talk Back Live. My name is Frank Allan. And of course, we're here with you for the duration of the hour, and we're going to be with you with more. And if you'd like to join in conversation, or even if you have something to say, a conversation, all right, you want to conjure up a conversation that all of us can indulge in, we would love to hear from you. All you have to do is just type it right in there. I will see you right there on the big screen, and I will entertain all of your thoughts and ideas. How about that? And again, thank you so much for being along with us. There's so many things to talk about as we muddle through the show. In case you're just joining us, the time right now is 28 minutes past the hour. And here we are. It's Friday. For some of you, it's Friday, right? But for us, we're still in the Thursday mode. And it won't be long before we hit the Friday mode. But the weekend is coming up. And if you notice how many days go by, and it goes by so quickly, right? And it's just unbelievable. And I really wish the days wouldn't go as fast as they do, because it makes me that much older. Each day, each passing day, it makes me just that much older. Anyway, of course, we want to thank you guys for being along with us. And we really appreciate you being with us for this great Thursday. I'm trying to approach this the right way. because it's near and dear to me, this is a special friend that I have worked with years ago. I want to just send my condolences out to the family of Valerie Delia. Valerie Delia. Now, a lot of you who live in New York may know who she is. Valerie Delia used to work at New York One. That's the station in New York, New York One. And she had a show on New York One, a segment called Travel with Val. Now, Val was she was one of those travel experts. She can tell you anything. She can tell you what's cheap at what particular time of the year, when the best time to go to these places, where to go. When you get there, she can lead you to the best restaurants and bars and meet all kinds of great people. She could tell you all of that. She was an expert on that. Anyway, she passed away Tuesday. Now, I knew Val working at WOR. All right. I only knew her in the beginning when she was working on that New York One. I used to watch her on TV, but I got to meet her when she came over to WOR and in New York when I used to work there. And I had a chance to know her, to meet her, and even work with her. And I got to tell you, she was a very fine person to work for. And everyone loved her, and she loved everyone. And she didn't care who you were, as long as you were nice. She had a respect for everyone. And it was always fun working with her. I used to always look forward to working with her. You know how sometimes you look forward to something like an event or something? Well, I used to always look forward to working with her. Whenever I had the opportunity to do so, I never turned down the opportunity of working with her. And I work with all kinds of people at OR. And but with her, I never turned down the opportunity. I jumped to the opportunity each time I was asked to work with her on a project or whatever it was. I always did that because she was very easy to work with. All you have to do is just, follow her lead, and whatever she wanted, we would work with her. But I found out the news just today, as a matter of fact. She just died Tuesday, but I found out the news today. And even after the WOR thing, even after all of that, I continued to stay in touch with us for a while. But I was just late on finding out about her death. And so she had her radio show. Now, a lot of you, like I said, who live in New York, know her locally. Now, then a lot of you around the nation may know her because when she was working at WOR, she was working on the network side. So her show went all over the nation. It went all over the nation. So a lot of you may know her. And her show was all about travel. And she gave a lot of tips on traveling. And the thing I liked about her, one time I used to work with her and we used to have a lot of laughs together, and she always had this great smile. That smile you would see on TV, that she always carried that smile with her everywhere she went. Bright hellos, and we always loved her. Okay. And so I just want to send out all of my my condolences to her friends and her family, especially her family, and everyone who knew her like I did. I want to send my condolences out to each and every one, because we're going to miss her. I miss her now, and it's going to be a long time, and I'm going to miss her for a long time. So I just wanted to bring that in. And I just want to say to Valerie Delia, you did very well while you're here on Earth, and God bless you and rest in peace. I'm pretty sure you've seen or you noticed that yesterday was the 23rd year, 23rd, as they say, anniversary. Well, 23 years ago, 9/11 occurred in New York. Everything happens in New York. This is never a dull moment here. When the two planes crashed the buildings and knocked them down. Remember the World Trade Center? 9/11. Well, that was 23 years ago today. Yesterday made 23 years ago when that tragedy happened. Now, those of you, and it went all around the world. It could all around the world. Everybody knows it. Everybody around the world knows. I don't care where you go from. Just like this show is all around the world. That went all around the world. It was a terrorist attack and it went all around the world. But those of you who lived in New York, you were there and you knew more about it than anybody else. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you people remember exactly where you were when it happened. I have a lot of memories. I will never forget it. I will never forget it. It's one of those things where we had we just waited, you know, and waited because we were wondering what was going on. And I didn't know about it until maybe, I guess, maybe 2 hours after it happened, you know, when it occurred. Because I remember exactly where I was. I was recuperating at home. Recuperating at home because I was in the hospital prior and I was home recuperating. And I'm sitting and I'm watching TV and I noticed that I hear a lot of sirens go by and cop cars and things like that. I live on a busy street, so that's the norm. And sirens go by and I didn't think anything of it. But then I got to realize it was just happening too long. It was just like abnormal for the sirens just kept going and going and going and going and not stopping, not a break. And I look out of the window and there they were rushing. And so I said there was something going on. I didn't know at the time what was going on. So what I did is I turned on the TV, I turned on the news on CNN, I believe it was CNN. I never forget it was CNN. And right on cue, when I turned to CNN, right on cue, I saw the towers. It went right down. And I said, and I thought to myself, well, wait a minute, what's going on? Is this a movie or something? I couldn't believe it. Right on cue, as soon as I turned to the station, they had the playback videotapes of the towers going down. And that's when I knew there was something wrong. And even before that, I was trying to make a call to my brother. And my landline wouldn't let me make a call. Then I tried my cell phone. It wouldn't let me make a call. And all I had left was an email. And since I couldn't get any phone calls out, that just threw up the red flag. And that's when I found out there was something happening. And that's when I knew that happened. Now, I didn't hear any noise because if I had gone up to the roof of my building, my apartment building, I would have seen the towers go down because on top of the roof, you could actually see the towers from where I live, you know, and I didn't hear anything. You know, you would figure, you know, I'm closer to downtown than most people, but I didn't hear a thing, you know. The only thing I heard was the sirens going by. So that was my memory. But, you know, it wasn't about all of that. It was really about the people who didn't survive it and people who were in that building, they didn't survive it. And so 23 years old, we send my condolences out to the people who have families there, families who have had brothers and sisters, and aunts and uncles and people who were swept up in all of that. And each year, as you already know, they televise the ceremony. People go there, all walks of life. People even come from different parts of the country or from different cities to make a transport to come to Ground Zero to watch the events that go on as they read all of the names of the people who are no longer with us. So that was 23 years ago as we celebrated. We don't celebrate it, but we remember back 23 years ago today. You remember where you were when that happened? You know, if you do, I'd like to know. It would make a good, interesting story to find out. Okay. I think it's that time, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm going to get going right now, and we're a little bit behind, but we're going to make it. It's on this day in history, and on this day in history, ladies and gentlemen, in 1928, Katharine Hepburn, New York City stage debut in Night Hostess. On this day in history in 1935, millionaire Howard Hughes flies his own designed H-1 racer plane, then a record of three 352.46 miles per hour in Santa Ana, California. On this day in history, in 1954, WLBZ TV, that's Channel 2 in Bangor, Maine, an NBC station begins broadcasting. On this day in history, 1955, KNTV, TV Channel 11 in San Jose, California, ABC station begins broadcasting. On this day in history, 1956, Black students enter and are barred from Clay, Kentucky Elementary School. On this day in history, 1958, the U.S. Supreme Court orders all white Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas to integrate. On this day in history, 1959, American Western series Bonanza, starring Lon Green, Dan Blocker, and Michael Landon, premieres on NBC. On this day in history, 1964, the film A Fistful of Dollars premieres, starring Clint Eastwood in his first leading role. Back in 1965, the 17th Emmy Awards go to Dick Van Dyke, The Dick Van Dyke Show, and Dick Van Dyke himself. Back in 1966, The Monkees premieres on NBC TV. In 1972, TV sitcom Maude, that's a spinoff from All in the Family, starring B. Arthur and Bill Macy, premieres on CBS. In 1975, Pink Floyd releases their 9th album called Wish You Were Here. In 1978, situation comedy Taxi premieres on ABC television, starring Judd Hirsch, Jeff Conaway, Danny DeVito, Tony Danza, and Mary Lou Henner, and of course, Andy Kaufman. In 1981, the Smurfs animated cartoon series by Hanna-Barbera first broadcast in North America. In 1984, American country singer Barbara Mandrell was badly injured in a car accident. In 1992, Mae Jemison is the first African-American woman to go into space. In 2011, Love on Tops, that's the single released by Beyonce, made the Grammy Award Best Traditional R&B Performance in 2013 and Billboard Song of the Year in 2012. Back in 1888, Maurice Chevalier, the French actor and singer, was born in Paris. He died in 1972. In 1921, news anchor Frank McGee from NBC and NBC Evening News was born in Monroe, Louisiana. He died in 1974. In 1931, country singer and songwriter George Jones was born in Saratoga, Texas, and he died in 2013. In 1940, actress Linda Gray, who played Sue Ellen Irwin on Dallas, and she was born in Santa Monica, California. She's 84 years old today. Happy birthday. Singer Barry White was born on this day in 1944. He was born in Galveston, Texas. He died July 4th, 2003 at the age of 58 years old, and he suffered from various health problems. Singer actress Jennifer Hudson was born on this day in 1981, and she was born in Chicago, Illinois. She's 43 years old today. In 1908, I don't remember her, but politician Winston Churchill marries Clementine Hauser. In 1923, actor Spencer Tracy weds Louise Treadwell in Cincinnati, Ohio. In 1936, actress Maureen O'Sullivan weds director John Farrow. In 1953, American Senator John F. Kennedy at the time weds Jacqueline Bouvier in Newport, Rhode Island. In 1991, actor John Travolta weds actress Kelly Preston in Daytona Beach, Florida. They were married until she passed away. In 1967, actress and singer Rosemary Clooney divorces actor Jose Ferrer for the second time after she found out he had an affair with Stella McGee. In 2017, actress Scarlett Johansson divorced advertising agency owner Romain Durecki. In 1972, William Boyd, American film actor and a cowboy hero of Hopalong Cassidy, dies at the age of 77. In 1978, actor Frank Ferguson dies of cancer at the age of 71. He was a character actor. In 1988, Charlie Palmieri, American salsa music band leader, dies after a heart attack at the age of 60 years old. Actor Anthony Perkins died on this day at the age of 60 years old, cause of AIDS-related disease and pneumonia. And he was born April 4th, 1932 in New York City. And let's see, in 1993, actor Raymond Burr of Perry Mason, he played Perry Mason in Ironside, dies of liver cancer at the age of 76 years old. Country singer Johnny Cash died on this day in 2003 at the age of 71 years old. He was born February 26, 1932 in Kingsland, Arkansas. In 2014, jazz musician Joe Sample of the Jazz Crusader dies at the age of 75 years old. In 2020, singer Edna Wright, female R&B group of the Honeycombs, dies of a heart attack while suffering from COPD at the age of 75 years old. And finally, in 2022, jazz artist Ramsey Lewis dies at the age of 87 years old. And so that's what's happening on this day in history. And if you notice anything that's happening on this day in history, please let us know. We would love to convey it to other people. They will see it right there, but I will orally do it as well. And because I don't know everything, you know, but that's what's happening on this day in history. And I hope you get a chance to give us some more if you know anything about it. Okay, now those of you who'd like to get in touch with me, please, you can do that. And we really appreciate that. Be proactive. I have two sources. I have an email address and a telephone number that you can contact us. I'll give you the email address first. How about that? The email address is frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. Telephone number is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. Now, you can contact us for any reason at all. You can contact just to say hi, that's okay too, we would love that. Or you can contact us to say that you have an idea about the show that we would like to implement into the show or help or anything like that, or maybe you want to critique the show or anything at all. Just be proactive and keep the information along with you at all times, just in case you need it. You can keep it in your phone, your computer, or any one of your electronic devices that holds all of these informations, these datas for you, or datas, however you want to say it. There's no wrong or right way to say data or data. And get it, and it'll be at your disposal anytime you need it. Okay, so please be proactive. And let me give you that email address again. It's Frank Allan. Allan is spelled A-L-L-A-N. It's very important. You want to make sure that the email gets where it's supposed to get. If you spell it wrong, it doesn't. A-L-L-A-N. Prod is P-R-O-D. That's short for Productions. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. That's frankallenprod@aol.com. The telephone number, once again, is 641-715-3900, extension 467134. That's 641-715-3900, extension 467134. I am not going to close the show without talking about, and you guys probably knew it anyway, I'm not going to close the show without talking about the debate. You've seen the debate, right? Well, it was just like I predicted it would be. Kamala Harris cut Donald Trump a new one. Okay, if you don't know what I mean, I'll tell you privately. Cut him a new one. And now he can talk out of both sides or lie out of both sides and even lie and talk on the both sides of his mouth. He's got 4 ways of doing it. Okay, but it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. And I told you, and I predict that she was going to cut him a new one, and she did exactly that. She won that debate, hands down, no question about it. If you've seen the debate, and even if you didn't see the debate, you had to get a inkling on how it really went, because if you were watching the news, they showed lots of highlights. He was so incoherent. He wouldn't answer the questions. She was talking policy. He was talking things that didn't even matter, like eating dogs and cats and things like that. And now I hear today he was talking about something that was like way out of line, out of proportion, or didn't know what he was talking about. But like Kamala Harris says, you know, this race is still going to be tight. It's still going to be tight. And she still says that we are the underdogs, but we're going to fight. And when we fight, we win. And I believe her on that. You know, I have my ideas on how it's going to go. A lot of people, we can't say for sure because nobody voted yet. And I hope that you get a chance to vote too. But she had so many endorsements. She had people coming all over, all of the celebrities, the so-called celebrities that come in and supported her. And the latest one, we finally now know that Taylor Swift have officially endorsed her. We heard the rumors about she was endorsing Trump. We heard that rumor, you know, but that was something that came from him. But she finally endorsed her. And you know something, you can go onto her Instagram page because she wrote some, because directly after the after it was over, the debate was over, she went on and posted, and she posted a picture too of her and her cute little kitty. She was holding her cat, the beautiful cat that she had holding. And she went on, and you can go there, but this is what she said. She went on and came on. She says, if you haven't now, is a great time to research on the issues at hand and the stance these candidates take on the topics that matter to you the most. As a voter, I make sure to watch and read everything I can about their purpose, policies, their proposed policies and plans for this country. Recently, and this is what I just said, recently I was aware that AI of me falsely endorsing Donald Trump's presidential run as it was posted on his site. See, that's what I told you. And as she go on to say, it finally conjured up my fears on AI and the dangers of spreading information or misinformation. And it brought me to the conclusion that I need to be very transparent about the actual plans for this election as a voter. The simplest ways to combat misinformation is with the truth. And so she says, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the 2024 presidential election. I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes, I believe, need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we will accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was so heartened and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing for the LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and women's right for her own body for decades. And she goes on to say, I've done my research and I've made my choice. Your research is all yours to do, and the choices for you to make. I also want to say, especially to voters, first-time voters, remember that in order to vote, you have to be registered. And I've said that to you many, many times, guys. And I also find it's much easier to vote early. And the nicest thing that she's going to do, she says, I'll link where to register and find early voting dates and info in my story. With love and hope, Taylor Swift. And she ends off with childless cat lady. Childless cat lady. So it's official. She's endorsing Kamala Harris. And I got to tell you, this is going to be good, because remember that Taylor Swift is one of the most famous entertainers on the planet, carrying a lot of weight, especially to young people. Now, she doesn't cater just to young people now, you know. Old people like myself. I listen to her music. I love her music. I've played her music on the radio. I always admired her, even before this whole Swiftie thing came about. You know, I was playing her records. And but she carries a lot of weight. And I think this is going to change the attitude of young voters who in the beginning said, you know, I don't want to vote for it. There's nothing to vote for. I'm not going to do this. But the Swifties, they got to come out. And she said it when she received her award on MTV. She received her award and she urged everyone out to go out and register. If you're over 18, go out and register to vote. And I always said that. We have 58 days left before that day, that glorious day, that marvelous day. And that's the 5th of November. And if you want to do early voting like she does, like I will do, that's a good thing to do. Go to your local Board of Elections and check it out. Early voting starts the 25th or the 26th for 9 days. All right, you can do that, and that's coming up pretty soon. A lot of people are going to be out on the polls, and or you can go and you can vote by mail, right? And just call your local Board of Elections. If you're living in New York City, the local Board of Elections, 200 Varick Street on the 10th floor. Telephone number is 212-866-2100. Again, that's 212-866-2100. Go out and vote. It's going to be a happy time. I'm looking forward to this election. I can't say who's going to win. The only thing I can say that I have confidence that we're going to get our first female president. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I said I have confidence. All right, and I'm sticking to that. Movies. If you have plans this weekend, follow the plans. But if you want to take time out to watch movies that you haven't seen in a while, or possibly jog your memory, well, I have a couple of movies that I could fit in your plans, and you can watch it. My picks of the week for your weekend, and this can go to your bucket list of what to watch. So let's get started right away. Here's a nice movie that goes back to 1943. It's a black and white movie. It's a classic. It's called Cabin in the Sky, starring Ethel Waters, Eddie Rochester Anderson, who used to be Rochester on Jack Benny, and of course Lena Horne too. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. You can catch it out Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Eastern. If you desire not to get up that early in the morning, you could also DVR it in advance and watch it later at your own time convenience. You can do that. So that's Cabin in the Sky, 1943. And of course, I hope you get a chance to watch it. Here's one of my favorite movies by Sidney Poitier from 1965 called A Patch of Blue. Sidney Poitier, Shelley Winters, and Elizabeth Hartman. And that's on Turner Classic Movies. That's also on Sunday. And that's at 4 p.m. Eastern. You're back from church at that time. You can watch it, pop up the popcorn, and get ready to relax. So you have those two movies. Now, go to Turner Classic Movies, because there may be other movies that I didn't mention, because these are only my picks of the week. And you might find something that you may like, and you could also watch them in real time or DVR them and watch them later, just like these movies I just gave you. And of course, while you're on demand, you can check out all of those great movies, those free movies, the freebies, right? And there are a lot of them. Just go down the line and check them out and see what you like, and enjoy it. Also on demand, you have great sporting events, you have children's programs, you have documentaries. You have some of those Lifetime movies. I love those Lifetime movies. See what's available on there. And as far as the sporting events are concerned, sometimes you might miss something, and you can go on demand the following day and watch it, depending on what network it's on. It's in its entirety, sometimes without commercial interruption. So, do that. So let me go over these movies once again. Cabin in the Sky, Ethel Waters, Eddie Rochester Anderson, and Lena Horne. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 6 a.m. Eastern. And then you have The Patch of Blue with Sidney Poitier, Shelley Winters, and Elizabeth Hartman. That's Turner Classic Movies. That's Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern. And it's all right there on Turner Classic Movies. I stare you no wrong with these movies. I would love for you to watch them and enjoy them too. So I want to say hello to Kevin, and once again, oh, my friend Joey Reynolds, the classic, the legendary Joey Reynolds from ABC Radio. Joey, I'm going to get in touch with you. We got to get together. Hope you're doing fine too. I'm going to give you a call. I haven't talked to you in years. Joey and I used to work at WOR. Now he's at the big time. He's at ABC. Everybody knows ABC. Joey, thank you so much for being along with us. And for the rest of you guys, I've got to go, but I'll be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for the coffee hour. And I'm going to be here. Brian is going to take off again once again. So I am going to take care of everything with sports. I'm going to cover for him with that. And I hope you will be here too. And you can meet me back here once again next Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern for more Talk Back Live. Hopefully Brian Camp will be back with sports. He does his own sports. And of course, we'll be looking forward to seeing you once again as well. In the meantime, ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great morning, good afternoon, good evening, and a pleasant good night. And we'll see you soon. Take care.
You've been watching Talk Back Live with your host Frank Allan. The producer is Al Dale. Technical assistant Dave Taylor. Research by Sandy Pierce. And I'm your announcer Donna Stenke. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time on Talk Back Live.